Hey everyone, I'm ZexxTheReaper. This is a playthrough of Crash 2, and I'm joined by...
Me, I guess. Didn't we have a different... I don't know. I thought you were gonna say something funny about how you brought me in off the streets. It's not far
Uh,
off, honestly.
I mean, do you really want me to restart the recording so we can do that?
Too much effort.
Fair enough. So, you know more about this game than I do. Uh,
Uh, yeah, I'd say to some extent. I think I just played it a lot more when I was a kid. Honestly, I only 100% of this once, though. Oh, and it's mainly just because I just like running through the levels and just doing a incomplete playthrough every time I restarted it because it's just a fun game for me to plow through real quick and then go about my day doing other things.
Also, just to get it out of the way now, shout outs to the amazing animation.
Yeah, like I couldn't have asked for much better.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure we both thought that Crash was just dead in the water.
Uh, yeah, it was a rough number of years.
You fool! Do you think I'm unaware of the situation? If we don't have...
But anyway, I mean, like, it was really hard watching Crash, like, burn like that. I didn't really get into the Crash series hard until Warped. And, you know, that was, like, the downhill point. Not that Warped was, like, bad, but, like, the games after that were. So,
Yeah.
aside from Twinsanity, which was just okay.
Yeah, Warped. I actually like Twinsanity better than Warped, but
Oh, really?
yeah.
Anyway, for those, we'll get back to whatever you're about to say, but for those that were wondering why we started with Crash 2, it's a game that we both agreed would be easier to record for the first time trying this setup.
Yeah.
So you were saying?
Yeah, Crash Bandicoot I always kind of felt was basically Crash Bandicoot 3, just not quite as good.
In Twinsanity,
no,
or did
Warped.
you mean Crash Bandicoot 2?
Warped was... Let's get back to Warped and Twinsanity. Warped I always kind of thought was Crash 3, just not quite as good. For some reason I always kind of felt the control was a touch too floaty for my taste in Warped. But beyond that, it's just that a lot of the levels weren't quite as good as they were in Crash 3, though I've always I've been a bit harsh on Crash's non-platforming level-specific gimmicks.
Wait, I'm sorry, but Warped is Crash 3.
Fuck. Well, I meant Wrath of Cortex.
Yeah, I like got that as we kept going. I'm like, he's talking about Wrath of Cortex. I just want to make sure that that's clear.
Yes. I do not words good, but Warped I always... I'm doing it again. Wrath of Cortex I always thought was Warped, but not quite as good.
Yeah.
Control was a bit floatier, or the non-platforming level gimmicks I thought were even worse, and I wasn't too fond of a lot of those in Warped anyway. But Crash Twinsanity, but it was all right. Like, it was perfectly acceptable. Well, it's just it felt like a step down. Twinsanity, on the other hand.
Oh, just
Okay,
to point out, here's me missing all the crystals just to piss Cortex off.
Okay. I'm gonna shut up for this one. Part one.
Now get back in there.
Seriously, the animation, man.
Yeah.
We're coming up on, after the Cortex things, we're coming up on one of my favorite animations just so far.
To save the world, I need crystals. Crystals!
I like that this is a part of the game, though.
They look like this.
Yeah.
Crystals, Crash. Go back through one of those doors and bring me crystals.
I mean, I do kind of miss the darker ambience of the original game, but that's for these sequences, but that's a nitpick and a half.
Yeah.
Look up at the doorway. There is a big crystal-shaped slot. Fill all 5 crystal slots in this warp room by retrieving 1 crystal from each of the 5 areas. Only after we have filled all of the slots in this room can we continue on our quest. This is the last time I remind you.
But as far as Twinsanity is concerned, I remember having a few genuine laughs at it. I remember it being like a genuinely funny game, but I do recall liking Crash Warped better, and of course that's opinionated. But
yeah. I mean, with Twinsanity, it felt, I don't know. To me, it just felt like a more standard open world platformer and kind of a departure from Crash's formula. But I kind of thought it was different, but just better. Not compared to the original three. Yeah, obviously, I honestly have a ridiculous soft spot for these three games in general. But
so just to point out, this is to get our first special gem, which requires you to not break any boxes on the first stage. Thankfully, this is hinted at in this game way better than it was in the original, according to you at least. If you want to go into that.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it did so I'd have to go back and double check, but for the blue gem, after you got the box gem in this level, if you went through the level again, when you got to the
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have to point out that this jump is exceedingly annoying. It's way more annoying than it looks. Anyway, continue.
You can actually just jump on the bouncy Wampa box because you won't break it on the first jump.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. But,
Go me.
Yeah. But, oh, what was it? Oh, yeah. If you get the box gem in this level, and then go back through and beat it again, when you get to the, like, little holographic box tally thing that, conveniently enough, we would have been coming up to, you see that it's set at zero, get 0 out of whatever number crates there are in the level. And that's just a really, really basic hint that you go through the level without breaking anything to get a color gem. But
so I was foreshadowing this, I guess. But this is like one of my favorite animations in the game when you bring back your first gem.
Yeah.
Also, shoutouts to these like pulling the gem out of nowhere animations.
Yeah. I kind of prefer the old Crash Dance, but why did they like never bring him back after this game?
They should have.
You have acquired gem. Interesting. Well, Crash, know this. As long as you are allied with Cortex, you are my sworn enemy, and I will do anything in my power to stop you. If the fate of the world is truly your concern, you must gather the gems, not the crystals. If you obtain all 42 gems, I can use them to focus a laser. Yes, a laser beam that will destroy Cortex and the space station he has created. Until then, I must use my forces to stop you from gathering crystals.
I love that.
I kind of want that ending bit just repeated on a loop. But
so good.
But God damn it! Just this thing existing makes me feel like a kid again.
Yeah, it's really good. As I said, you have more experience with Crash 2. I remember beating it at one point. I don't think I ever like got all the gems or anything like that. But I did remember liking it. I just like, for all intents and purposes, this is basically like a blind playthrough of the game because I don't remember anything basically from the original Crash 2, and a lot of the secret gems and stuff I had to look up just to find out how to get, but I tried to avoid spoilers so that it would be like, you know, first time playthrough. I would just know what extra very obtuse thing I would have to do to get some colored gems.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of one of those people who say if you don't know where to go next, just use a fucking guide. It's not it's pulling your hair out trying to figure that kind of crap out. But yeah, this is actually something I did find on my first playthrough by myself.
Oh yeah, the splatting on the face. I mean, it's obviously like what is this here? Like maybe I should do something with it, but this area down here is like far and away the hardest part of floor 1. At least if you're trying to get all the boxes. At least, you know, of course, in my opinion. And it's mainly because of a troll that we're about to come up to. And it really, really bugged me. So you have this segment where there's, it's a series of segments that really annoy me. So you have this segment with nitro crates down there. And the nitro crate hitboxes in this game seem to be the size of the sun. So you just kind of want to never get near them ever, and you have to do that slide jump. And that slide jump's harder than it looks, which we'll cover when I fail it. Because, spoiler alert, I do not get it this time. This time through the level because of, well, we'll get to it when we get there. But I might as well talk about it. Yeah. So, if you miss the jump on those flamingos, you just can't get the boxes anymore, and you have to either die or restart. I chose to restart, and there's death number 1 that just shouldn't have happened.
Yeah. But yeah, I jump. Honestly, the slide jump is ridiculously fun to use.
Yeah.
But it's usually only required for like optional crap. Like if you're just going for a standard or like playthrough, getting the crystals, you don't actually have to. I don't think you actually have to use it at all.
Well, I failed the jump there. That's actually untrue. There are segments that you 100% have to slide jump. Oh, you mean if you're just going for the crystals? My bad. I like answered too fast. Yeah, if you're just going for the crystals, I don't think there's anything that requires a slide jump.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure this actually does require the slide
jump.
Oh,
yeah, it does. It 100%
yeah,
does.
So.
You can't make that jump without it.
Yeah, so... Well, I'm just talking like, if you're just going for the crystals. I don't remember any specific point where you legitimately completely needed it. But, yeah, either way, the maneuver's stupidly fun, and it's honestly just...
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
I thought it was appropriate. So yeah, I get all the way to the end, and then I just have a death that I should not have had.
Yeah. I lost my train of thought.
Good. That was the point. So, here I just want to explain this. I missed a jump here, and it became like a point of pride for me. So I'm just gonna kill myself. I have to make that jump.
Yeah, I actually never bothered to go for that slide jump. I always just jumped down next to the nitro crates.
Really? I mean, like I said, the hitbox for the nitro crates, and especially with this, like, what am I, like, thinking of? This like, viewing angle, it makes it kind of hard to interpret depth, I guess, and I just, like, didn't feel comfortable enough, so I wanted to just do the slide jump. Also, because it's just, you know, it's actually possible.
Because it's possible, and it honestly looks cooler.
Yeah, it does.
But, yeah, that just might be because of how much I've played this damn game, and that I kind of understand the hitboxes fairly well.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you went back and did it that way in this game. If you did, then
yeah.
But
honestly, this game's movement and physics feel ever so slightly off in ways that I can't easily explain, but they fucked me up really bad at specific parts that I could do as easily as breathing when I was a kid.
I can tell you, the game does feel different, and actually, Vicarious Visions came out with a statement saying the game is like actually hard and people aren't crazy. Like, it's actually harder than the original because of some design choices they made. So there's vindication for people that like want it, but I don't feel like the game's ridiculously hard. And I also, except for maybe Crash 1, I haven't played it yet. But I also don't feel like the game feels bad. I think the game controls and feels really good. It just feels difficult.
Yeah. Like, yeah, it's the kind of issue that would only really bother you if you, like, obsessively played the game as a kid, perhaps.
So let's cover this segment coming up. This happens.
I've come to talk with you again.
So,
I think you could.
Hold on. I couldn't get that box, so I needed to enlist some help from XX Ichigo Kurosaki XX to get that box. I'm very glad I enlisted his help because I couldn't have got it otherwise. The box, it's in such a weird location that it looks like you can't slide jump to get it. And honestly, I think the only reason I was able to slide jump to get it, because if you slow down that part of the video, which you can do at your leisure, it doesn't even look like I hit the box. It looks like I jumped next to it and it explodes. And I think I have to give that credit to the mask. I think it extended my hitbox. But I was about to like game over myself. The reason I went back into that pit is I was like jumping back to try and find a pit to jump down. But yeah, thankfully XX Kurosaki Ichigo XX was there to help me get that box.
Yeah. I was gonna say, hey, I'm pretty sure our mask invulnerability actually extends your vertical hitbox for some reason. But so you don't have to be quite as accurate.
Yeah.
I'd have to double check that though. God, I love the Crash dance.
Yeah, it's still really good.
I knew I could rely on you. Now listen carefully. These holograms are hard to maintain. During the course of my intellectual pursuit,
I'm using Skype.
I have stumbled across a force that
What?
threatens to destroy the
These
world.
holograms are hard to maintain. I'm using Skype.
Yo,
The fate of the world.
fair enough.
It is imperative, therefore, that you bring them to me.
Are you there, Crash? Crash! Crash! Are you there, Crash?
You're not doing something stupid, are you?
So I think it does bear repeating from what other people said. It's kind of annoying that they're like playing this Cortex wants to save the world card, except you know he doesn't, and the title tells you he doesn't, even if you didn't know that he doesn't. I feel like that could have been handled better, but to be honest, it's such a small deal. I'm also just showing this off because I can.
Because idle animations. But yeah, I mean, honestly, they're... God, that's adorable. But honestly, for certain games, when people start complaining about a story element, and when I think you don't really need them at all for the game in question, it comes across as a nitpick and a half. Like, Crash is a game you play mainly for the gameplay and visuals anyway, so yeah. It's a really minor thing.
So I hope you guys just love these loading times, because I know I did.
It's a throwback to the PS1 games.
Too accurate a recreation.
Again, we were discussing this earlier, but I think they might actually be worse. There's like, I'd have to dig out my PS, like, for an entirely fair test, I'd have to dig out my PS1, and because the PS2 and PS3 just load games quicker. So I'm not gonna do that because I'm lazy. But
Same reason I'm not doing it, to be fair.
yeah, but yeah, I'm pretty sure these loading times are worse. Which,
Although, like Kid Icarus said, I kind of do enjoy Aku Aku just like peeking out of the corner. Hey,
Yeah,
you want to play your game?
yeah, it has a charm to it, and it really shouldn't, because it's like just lazily shifting the Aku Aku mask around like some kind of half-ass screensaver. Maybe I should make it into a half-ass screensaver.
No, you make it and send me the link to it.
Still kind of lazy though.
Fair
Oh,
enough.
the red gem used to be lower down on this, and apparently there was a pixel perfect exploit you could do to do like a ridiculous slide spin jump to get that at right now on the original game, but they fixed it. I managed to pull it off like once, but
So just to point it out for those that have noticed, sometimes the video gets a bit choppy in the frame rate. Not hugely terrible, but it gets a little bit choppy. And my settings for OBS were screwed up during these initial recordings. It won't be an issue in further videos. It'll continue to be an issue throughout the rest of this video, and then it'll be an issue for either a fourth or half of the next video. I haven't really edited that one together, but after that, it'll be smooth recording.
Clearly what you should have done is scrap the entire recording and start over.
Right, but then XX Ichigo Kurosaki wouldn't have been able to help me.
Hey. Touché. Unless you perfectly recreate that fuck up. Could have done that.
So this was before I like put together in my head that I could just not do a slide and just crouch and do a jump for a higher jump. Also, let's mourn the sad loss of 100% box completion on this level at this point. Because I cover it later, but unfortunately, right at that checkpoint, there's a nitro box that's just out of camera view behind you. And it's really, really troll, and I hated it, and I had to play through the whole stage again. I'm not gonna, like, make you watch me going through the whole stage again.
Aw, but Zex, the stage is so pretty. Look at it.
It is, like, man, this game looks fucking amazing. This game is timeless. I'm gonna tell you that. Not like the original Crash series. They've aged a bit in the visuals, but this game, I think, will forever be timeless. Just because of a consistent art style.
Yeah, I mean, Crash, to be entirely honest, I think even the PS1 games aged remarkably well.
Well, yeah, but they definitely aged.
Oh, I'm not that insane. Yeah, they aged, but... yeah. I mean, they look better than a lot of other crap on the PS1. Like...
Yeah, they were technical marvels. For many reasons on the PS1. They did a lot of things before a lot of things did those things, so...
Yeah, and just because of the cartoony art style, I still find the original games pleasing to the eye, but this...
Yeah, this is ridiculous. This is a Pixar movie come to life.
Well, I'd argue something more like Warner Brothers, but...
I guess so.
Either way, very nice looking cartoon. Apparently they were actually going for a Warner Brothers art style in Crash games since the first one, and a lot of cases you can kind of... Yeah, a lot of cases you can really tell.
Here we have Hang 8, another really gorgeous palette set, if you want to call it that. But it was... I kind of want to talk about this now, because there's not a lot to talk about during this playthrough of this level. But I got really annoyed to the point of raging that if you die enough on this game, it spawns a checkpoint block as a different block. And there's no way to get rid of it other than leaving the stage. And you'll see it in some stages later in the playthrough. But it really bugged me because I don't care about stuff like that, like Nintendo Super Guide and stuff like that. I don't care about that stuff for people that use it, mainly for the reason that it doesn't hamper my playthrough. But changing the checkpoint box to happen later does affect my playthrough, and it pisses me off that there's no way to turn that off. I guess that's really all I have to say about that, but it's one of the design steps that they made in this game that I don't agree with, and there's very few of those decisions, so...
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's that big of a deal, really. Like, I do think there should be some kind of option to turn it off, for the purist out there, but... it's not exactly like it's playing the level for you. The little helping hand, and yeah, it can come across as a bit annoying and condescending, but meh. It's less offensive to me than, and it's really not that offensive to me, I guess is the best way to say it.
Yeah,
it's just,
again, the only reason it's like super offensive to me is is because, again, there's no way to turn it off. It's something you're gonna have to deal with. You can either just not die and get good and never have to deal with it, or you're gonna have to deal with it. But, just again, another death that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
But seriously, this game looks fucking amazing. I can't get over how good this game looks. I really can't.
Yeah. This is another. I wanted to bring this up specifically on Hang 8 style level. Was because I don't know if this is just a me problem or if I'm just completely batshit insane. Well, or whatever. But
I mean, you are, but.
Well, yeah, but I mean, with the amount of dead hookers in the barrel in the basement, I can't really argue that. But with the way the camera is tilted, it kind of feels I have a hard time gauging perspective in these levels, and I really don't know why because I didn't have that issue in the original. This is a case of I'm too lazy to pull up side-by-side comparisons, but I don't know if I'm just crazy or if it is just slightly different.
I don't know, again, because I don't remember a lot of my experience with Crash 2. But I do know that I do, on Hang 8 style levels, have issues with depth perception that gets me killed. But, yeah.
I just don't remember them being there in the original. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old. Depth perception is one of my eyesight's going. Pretty soon I'll be eating all of my food. Blended into a blender, drunken through a straw. Not able to get out of bed.
We all know that you're already 40 years old living in your mother's basement, so.
Yeah.
So this bugged me when I was doing it, but it bugs me that those plants are there, because it makes me feel like there's a way to get over there.
Considering, yeah, that actually is really annoying because Crash actually does like putting little tells like that for secrets, and no, you just can't get over there.
Yeah, you just
don't try. But for virtually any other time you see something like that, oh yeah, you can get over there. There's a secret warp there. You should try to get there. It's freaking weird that they have it like that one time, and that's sheerly decorative. Nice ripply water effects.
Oh yeah. And this game really, really, really looks good. Holy crap. I mean, for visual purists out there that I know exists, this is the definitive version of Crash, bar none. But, you know, an argument can be made that there's some things in this game that are inferior to the original. And, I mean, I agree with some of them. But I'm just glad that this game exists, to be frank.
Yeah, I'm not gonna complain too much about it because it's pretty much a note for note remake with updated visuals, and to be entirely honest, you don't get games at companies doing this too often. Like the HD remasters, to be entirely blunt, just upscale the resolution in a lot of times when they re-release that kind of crap, and this is a ground-up remake.
Yeah, that way, like the Devil May Cry collection, where they just, you know, they upscale the resolution. That way you can see how shit everything looks.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd like it if they did stuff like this more often, but
oh yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna be optimistic here. Maybe this will convince certain companies to give it a shot.
I mean, I believe they're doing it with .hack GU. They're doing a from the ground up remake, enhancing all the models and shit, and that sounds really good to me if that is actually what they're doing, and I will be getting that. So just to talk about it, I guess the special gem, I guess the second clear gem, if I recall it correctly, is to hit a check and then get to the end of the level before the timer runs out. Now, something I did not check.
Yeah, you'll see it.
Yeah, the timer's in the bottom right. But something I did not check for this is, can you, like, wait and get a checkpoint, like, way later in the level and have more time? Or does it scale, or does it just not show up?
If I remember correctly, you're actually being you're pretty much being timed the second the level starts, actually.
Oh.
It's just that it doesn't pop up. I'd have to double check that one, though.
Well, there's your... There's you inviting me to a party. I really should have turned off notifications, to be fair, but...
Yeah.
You knew I was recording this game. Why did you do that?
I thought you were gonna do a test playthrough first, if I'm honest.
I told you I wasn't going to.
Well, I forgot that. It's your fault for not being a memorable human being. Should have done it in a funny Irish accent.
No, I don't think that's very fair.
Well, it isn't, but...
Oh, no, that was Scottish. No, I don't think... No, that's just failure. Alright, we're just gonna call that a failure and not do it again.
Horribly butchered attempt at a Cockney accent, maybe?
There you go. Sure, why not?
I mean, I'm not gonna try anything like that because can't do funny voices.
And with that, we're coming to the end of the first video. So we do plan to record more of these soon, so just keep watch. Thanks for joining.
Yep, see ya next time, where we'll be doing something.
Hopefully.
Probably yammering like fools.
Like always.
Bye!